can deal with this on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can manage this
Yeah.
with medicine or without medicine.
Right. Yeah. I absolutely, because I feel like in anything we do, it's important that, and that sometimes it's definitely difficult to do,
Mm-hmm.
but being able to be transparent and say I'm human
Mm-hmm.
and this has happened to me, and because this has happened to me, this is what it taught me. And so then my story becomes that catalyst that allows someone else to see, you know what? I experienced some similar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can see what she's saying. And for nothing else, a lot of times I do receive clients who will contact me and they'll say, I heard your story, or I was listening to you, when you were talking about this on this particular site.
Mm-hmm.
And it is that commonality. It's that
Mm-hmm.
feeling good to be able to connect with somebody who gets it.
Right.
Because that's just like sometimes people used to ask me before I had children, do you have children, when they would come to talk about different things? And I would
Mm-hmm.
say, well, no, not yet. And they
Mm-hmm.
were like, okay, well, you won't get this. And
Mm-hmm.
and I was like thinking, you're right, I won't get this, but
Mm-hmm.
let me hear it though, so that I can see what I potentially can help you to address in
Right.
this. Because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I haven't walked that walk yet. But
Right.
in this situation, I've walked the walk.
Right.
And some of these ladies have walked that walk as well. And so
Mm-hmm.
they want to be able to be supported by somebody who gets it.
That's
That
right.
they don't have to explain certain things to, because you just understand. You understand the fear. You
Mm-hmm.
understand the shame and the stress and the anxiety, and
Right.
thinking, well, what will other people think of me
Right.
in this situation?
Right.
So being able to have that connection is what draws us.
Yes, and that is so true because, again, like you said, not you're trying to protect your family. You don't want them to
Mhm.
feel like, well, having to explain what a family member is going through, or,
Right,
well, why didn't I know? Or because I know in a lot of families, you know, you didn't talk about mental health.
right.
You know, you didn't get seek therapy. We want to use the terminology where they're just crazy.
Hmm.
Well, what does that mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
um, not realizing that you're doing more damage to that person
Hmm.
than them getting the help that they need.
Right.
And so this is so, powerful that you are able to connect because, some people, they feel like they just know everything,
Hmm.
um, and we're Christians, we're believer. We know that Jesus is, we believe he's the Messiah and that he is the source. And we
Yeah,
believe that there is only one true living God.
right.
But I'm so glad we're having this conversation because people need to understand, as you said, that we know who our source is,
Yes,
but he gives us resources. That's
yes,
just like our jobs, right? We have
yes,
to eat, we have
yes,
to take care of families, we have to have insurance. So what does God do for us? He blesses us with that job,
hmm,
but the source is really coming from, he's really the source,
yeah,
but he's given us the resource.
yes, yeah,
He's given us that resource to take care of things we need to take care. So why don't we feel that we need to take care of our minds?
right.
You know,
Yeah,
we take care of every part of our bodies.
mhm,
We'll go to the dentist, we'll go to
yeah,
the doctor.
yes,
And everybody does not need a therapist, and that's not what we're saying.
right.
But if you do have some issues, it's okay to go see a therapist.
Yeah, yeah,
And that does not negate that God is still does not have a purpose for your life.
right. Absolutely.
And I think
Because,
that that's what a lot of people, don't realize. And, we
mhm,
know mental health is just a big topic,
yeah,
within the African American community, other communities too. But why is it that we just want to say, well, they're crazy?
yeah, yeah,
Why is there such a stigma
yeah,
of mental health in the African American community?
right. So I think so. I'm gonna go to something you said about your I believe your our story. Our story is where God gets glory, because it's that saying that we say sometimes, there's no testimony without a test.
Mm-hmm.
So it's being able to go through experiences, those experiences will increase our strength if we allow them to. If
Right.
we don't, succumb to the pressure of what other people might think, or that shame or that guilt, if we allow whatever is happening to us to help us grow, so that we can grow through what I call the dry places. We can grow through that stress, that depression, that whatever it is.
Right.
Um, but I think the terminology of calling people crazy is almost a shaming factor, because but it is also sometimes us inwardly feeling a particular way, and
Right.
because we didn't have the strength to say that we didn't feel good or that
Right.
we were having issues, but
Mhm.
this person does, we're throwing that anger and that frustration onto somebody else and
Mhm.
giving it a label,
That's good.
which is unfortunate.
It is.
But it's true that that happens, and we will, project our anger when that anger should really be something that we're sitting with and identifying. Okay, why is it I feel like I can't say this? Because
Right.
I've experienced just what she said or what he said,
Right.
but I can't. I just don't feel like, that person said those things, and that's wonderful for them, but I can't do that. I can't go
Right.
down that road. But
That's
in
so true.
essence, you can if you give yourself the opportunity.
And that's
If,
true. And
if,
I look at my own life as, as I'm 52. And if I didn't see it, I'd be 53.
yeah,
But I dealt with traumatic issues for so long and I bared them, right?
yeah,
But, I was dealing with the anger, the shame, the guilt. It would cause me to just have like low self-esteem, that I
hmm,
just felt like I should allow people to just treat me any kind of way.
yeah,
I was dealing with people pleasing, you
hmm,
know,
yeah,
trying to just make up for how I really felt about myself.
right,
But then when I really realized that, it's okay for you to get help. You're
hmm,
dealing with the issues that, you're dealing with.
yeah,
It's okay to have a therapist.
hmm,
I can, I struggle with getting help because I was like, well, what are people gonna think about me? Or what are
hmm,
people gonna say? I have to protect my family. But in the end, I was just destroying myself,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. And as I go through my therapy and I'm learning the triggers that cause me to feel this way,
right,
I'm going through the steps, or, I'm having my conversations with, my therapist.
hmm,
It's making me feel so much better,
yeah,
realizing that, what, God still loves me.
hmm,
I still can be a disciple of Jesus Christ. I still can help someone else,
yeah,
because what I've realized, because when I first learned about, or I would hear about mental health, they had a certain look to them,
hmm,
how they are portrayed on TV,
right,
or people that we had seen, maybe in a community.
yeah,
But we didn't really see people that would acknowledge, that look like us, that we have struggles, right?
yes, yes,
So that was eye opening for me, freeing to me, that,
hmm,
what, I'm not alone.
right, yeah, and
And
you're
I
not,
want to be able to help somebody else,
right,
to let them know that you're not alone,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that you're not crazy.
hmm,
That when someone says this, like you said, it's a shaming technique.
yes,
You don't have
yes,
to get upset. You don't have to get angry, because you know who you are.
yeah,
But
yeah,
most importantly, you know whose you are.
absolutely,
And when we
yeah,
know that we are a child of God,
hmm,
but that He still loves us,
yeah,
and that His Son still loves us,
yeah,
then we can take it day by day.
hmm,
And another thing that if you've encountered this, we know that there are some churches, they do have, licensed therapists in their congregations,
right,
but we do know more. Do we know some don't? And let's
yes,
talk about when somebody said, well, just pray about it,
yeah,
just pray it away.
hmm,
That's not negating the power of prayer.
yeah,
But what would you say to someone that's their thinking? Well,
yeah,
just pray about it.
yeah. I would say that absolutely prayer
Right.
works. I believe in prayer. That is how we communicate with God. That is how we ask for what we need.
Mm-hmm.
And if we believe, like the Bible says, we will receive those things. Sometimes they don't show up the way we want them to show up or
Mm-hmm.
think they should show up, but we'll
Right.
receive something that will help us if we
Mm-hmm.
allow it. um and praying about it, definitely every day you need to make that a practice. You need to make that a practice, but you have to start that by being thankful and
Mm-hmm.
thanking God for everything that he's already given you and everything that he's already done, and the great expectation that he will deliver and set you free and set you out of whatever it is that you're dealing with right now.
Right.
Absolutely do that. I never negate that.
Mm-hmm.
What I also say is, don't just pray, because even as faith without works is dead, you
Right.
have to have an action after you pray. You've got to be in a position to receive the things that God is going to give you,
Right.
because if you don't make room, then he won't give you those things because you're not ready for them necessarily.
That's
but
good.
you but you've got to get up and say, okay, I feel this. I feel frustrated. I just want to punch this wall, or
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go cuss them out, or I
Mm-hmm.
just want to whatever it is. Hold on, wait a minute. Why am I feeling like this all the time? Lord,
Mm-hmm.
I've been praying about this and I put it at your feet, but oh
Right.
my goodness, it's still here.
Mm-hmm.
There is the resource.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do I need to be able to connect to so that I really learn what this is and why
Right.
I keep doing what I'm doing?
Right.
Because sometimes you absolutely need that person that will show you yourself.
Right.
They will hold up the mirror and they will say, look at this. Take a deep
Right.
look. Just look into your eyes in this mirror. What is it that you
Mm-hmm.
see? What are you feeling? So those things go together. That prayer, absolutely. But
Absolutely.
that
Yeah, that is so
action,
true.
absolutely, they
That
go
is
together.
true. So,
Yeah.
Dr. Keisha, what would you say to someone that has been told that, well, if you're really a Christian
Mhm,
and you believe that God can heal, you don't
mhm,
need to take your medicine?
mhm, mhm, mhm. I would probably it wouldn't be nice, but I probably would be smart and say, "Well, are you taking your blood pressure pills?" And if they say, they looked at me kind of like, "What?" Yes, I'm asking that question because when the doctor gave you your blood pressure pills, you said, "Okay, thank you, doctor, because I need this blood pressure to be down because my head is hurting and my feet are swelling and all this stuff."
Mm-hmm.
You may very well be benefiting in maybe a different way though, but you'll be benefiting from taking this medicine because
Mm-hmm.
this medicine is helping to balance some things in your body that are imbalanced right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a lot of times what shows up as the mental health issue is the chemical imbalance that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we don't understand why it's shifting, but sometimes it just does.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying sometimes you're on medication and you're on it just for a brief time, and that is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. That is good. Continue to walk out, do your coping, living life, being mindful of all the things that you have learned that have gotten you to that point, and be consistent with those.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you will take that medicine and you will have to take it for the duration. Does not mean that you're any less loved
Mm-hmm.
or valued by God. It just means that this is what's happening for you right now. And right now, don't focus on what's happening over here on the left, and if that they're not taking theirs anymore. You focus on you,
Mm-hmm.
because your work is an individual work. It is not about the group over here. It is about you and what you need. Because if you stop taking your medicine, sometimes people really do have adverse effects from that, and that can be
Mm-hmm.
really serious. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to just keep on walking this out. Keep on walking this out. I'm not saying lose hope or anything, because guess what? I believe in deliverance. I believe God can deliver you. Sometimes your deliverance might not come in the way you want it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand that and be okay and still be grateful. Still have the gratitude that God, she's over there not taking that medicine, but I thank you that because I am taking it, I'm feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
Because this could be worse than before if I
That is so
wasn't taking
good.
this medicine. So
Absolutely.
you got to hunt the good stuff. You got to find the gratitude every day. No matter what you see happening around you that looks wonderful, everything that glitters is not gold.
That's
So
right.
you have to remind yourself of that daily. This is my walk.
That's
because at
right.
the end of the day, when I have to give an account to all the deeds done in this body. I don't have to
That's
give
right.
them for Sue or Joe or Bill or whoever else. I have to give it for me. And so I've
Absolutely.
got to walk this out.
And that is so true. And I'm so glad you